The Citizen Report is a production of New Shannon Media. All content protected under copyright.
And welcome to the Citizen Report. I'm John DeShannon, and thank you for joining me tonight. As always, this newscast is real, in-depth American. Thank you so much for joining me. My co-host, David Heller, is off. I just attended a Trump rally last night, if you don't know already, at the Gastonia Municipal Airport right here in Gastonia, almost right down the road. You basically, from my house, once you get out on the main road a couple blocks away, you go down a good solid mile, turn off and go another mile or at least probably a good couple of miles, and then you're right there. I mean, it was so phenomenal getting to see President Trump. Now, of course, I was several hundred, I'd say it's suffice it to say about several hundred feet, several hundred yards from him, but I was certainly within the ability to see him. And I got some footage from there. I had a hard time going live from there because there were so many people trying to get on the internet and do all sorts of things with their phones, probably something like I was trying to do, go live on there. But that just shows you how many people turned out for this event. As I understand it, and I'm not claiming to know this for absolute certainty, but according to Tracy Philback, who is, I believe, the chairman of the Gaston County Commissioners, I hope I got that job title right, he claimed that it was the largest political rally in North Carolina history. So that just tells you right there that the silent majority is bigger than you can possibly imagine. And and the mainstream media, they like to try to downplay it. And people that, are the Democrats and such, they like to try to downplay it. But the fact of the matter is the silent majority is very, very real. And it was so encouraging to be around people that want to be part of saving this republic, that want to be part of, as the slogan goes, make America great again. I like that shirt that someone had, a group of people had off to the side on one of the far ends of the bleachers, and they said, "Make America born again." So obviously a lot of Christian themes to it as well. I will say that before Trump got there, they were playing songs. I think Hallelujah was one of them. I know they had certain Christian themed songs. It should be very, very apparent and obvious that this is not something you'll ever see in Democrats. I mean, do you really think the Democrats would ever play something Christian on there? Of course not. And so that should tell you everything. And I think that people that still say, and I'll get to those sound bites in a second, but I want to say this, that those that still say that Trump is, he's a hoax, he's a fake, he's a fraudster, I don't think they understand what's really going on here. All you have to do is look. Because the Democrats, you see people that are literally screaming. You could almost see the demons coming through them when Trump, anything about Trump, anything about pro-life, being against abortion. Because here's the thing: this movement is also pro-life, and abortion is a blood sacrifice to Moloch. I don't care if people dislike me for saying that, but that's just the truth. Okay? And this movement, the people in this movement, we want to be, it doesn't mean that we're always in absolute agreement on everything, whether, like fiscal or financials or, various little knickknacks in the politics of things. But at the end of the day, we're about life. Democrats are the party. I'm serious. The Democrats are the party of death. They are. And I don't think somebody can legitimately sit this election out. This is not about Republican versus Democrat. This is about life versus death. This is about liberty versus tyranny. This is about pro-life versus murdering unborn children. I don't know how much more clear this can be. I don't know why it is that some people still can't seem to get it, that otherwise seem to be have functioning brains, and yet they want to criticize Trump at every possible opportunity. But I digress. But I want to go to this soundbite right now, and before I do that, actually, I am taping this on Thursday night. The Trump-Biden debates just wrapped up, the final one, that is, and Q. I have to be careful to say that because this is going on YouTube, of course. The Patriot Intelligence Insider will say, as X22 report likes to say, there were booms incoming, and I'm paraphrasing, booms incoming, this is not a drill. And obviously that was to indicate that there was a massive information fixing to hit. We do know that that information has hit the public consciousness as of today. I'm not going to really get into that because I still haven't really made myself fully cognizant of it, so I need to take time to look it over before I come on here and talk about it. But suffice it to say, the Bidens, they are being absolutely exposed right now. There is absolutely no question whatsoever that the Bidens are being absolutely, totally exposed right now. And I think you're going to see a lot of things happen in the next few days. It would not surprise me all that much if Biden decides to drop out, and he might. He might. I don't think he can recover from this because his crimes. Look. People's personal lives are people's personal lives are people's personal lives, okay? But when you commit treason against America, when you hurt children and become a pedophile, and I'm referring namely to Hunter Biden in that pedophilia part, that is something that has to be addressed, because the mainstream media will not tell you what's really going on. It is up to us. It is up to the independent media. It is up to alternative media. It is up to, Patriot Intelligence Insider, Trump, the few channels that will cover it, like Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, channels like that. But you will not hear any of that on CNN, or certainly not in a sense of being objective. They'll just try to cover it up or whatever. But I think it's important to understand that we are between now and the election. This is when and advertisers know this, that you have about 2 weeks. People's memory retention is about 2 weeks. So this final 2 weeks leading up to the election are so critical. And this is the 2 weeks. This is the period, that critical period of time that Trump is going to release the Red October, the October surprises. Boom, 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 boom. And I want you to hear what Trump said. I think it's interesting because I think it indicates, one, that I don't think it's a coincidence, but it most likely not a coincidence that Trump said what he said, and then what Q said about the booms incoming. This is not a drill. This is what Trump said at the start of the Gastonia rally I was at last night. Now, I should note, I didn't catch this part about the boom, boom, boom part. So this video that you're fixing to see is courtesy of the Trump campaign YouTube channel. So let's go to that right now so you can hear for yourself what Trump had to say.
Wow. This is a big crowd. This is one hell of a big crowd. Well, I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Gastonia. Gastonia. Thank you to Gastonia. Beautiful name. 13 days. Can you believe it? 13 days. 13 days from now. And you see what's going on. You see, boom, boom, boom. Oh, they're getting a little nervous over there, the deep state, the Democrats. All of these people that we've been dealing with, they're getting a little bit nervous, aren't they, huh? We're going to win this state. 13 days. This great, great state. And we're going to win 4 more years in the White House.
So that was President Trump, and again, this information is hitting the mainstream media, or hitting the, coming into the public realm, I should say, because it's important to understand that people have to be awakened, because Biden is not just an average politician that disagrees with Trump. He is a criminal. He's committed treason against America. Obama, I and someone else likes to call him Traitor 44. I personally have to doubt if he was actually the 44th president of the United States, because if it ever gets proven to be true that he wasn't even born in America, and I certainly think that Trump, way back before he even started to run for president in 2015, I think it was in 2011 or so, when Trump asked Obama to prove his birth certificate. And I don't think that was a coincidence. Now, you're welcome to disagree with me, but I really do not believe that was a coincidence. Now, this was video I did take myself, and you have to apologize for the kind of shakiness of it, because frankly, we were not allowed to bring in tripods and things like that. I just came in as a member of the public. I didn't try to get media, get on the media platform or anything like that. So, for what it's worth, here's my footage of some of what Trump mentioned about his accomplishments, because I want you to hear that, because some people need to be reminded of what Trump has accomplished.
How about this? $150 billion for nothing. And don't forget, $1.8 billion in cash. In many airplanes loaded up with cash. I recognize the true capital of Israel and opened the American embassy.
Yeah!
I also recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. 52 years they worked on that. We got it done in 2 hours. And instead of never-ending wars, we are forging peace in the Middle East without blood all over the sand. Iran doesn't want to let me win. China doesn't want to let me win. They want me to be defeated. And the swamp doesn't want to let me win. Because I am fighting for you. I'm fighting for you.
That's right.
Will be from Iran saying, let's make a deal. You talk about an economy, their economy, GDP down 27%. Nobody's ever even heard of it. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities, great jobs, and a limitless future for all Americans. We're all about the American dream. We're about the American dream. Yep. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. We have to say that. Honestly. Over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world. And we will end our reliance on China once and for all. It's already happened. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God We Trust." Who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of North Carolina. But we have the most important election in our history.
That's
so
right.
Get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, get your boss, rip them out of the seat. And get out and vote. From Asheville, we'll be there soon, to Charlotte, from Wilmington to Raleigh, and from Greensboro to right here in Gastonia.
Yeah.
We stand on the shoulders of red-blooded American patriots who poured out their heart, sweat, and soul to secure our liberty and defend our freedom. Crossed the oceans, blazed the trail, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, dug out the Panama Canal, laid down the railroads, raised up the great skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America the single greatest nation in the history of the world. Taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. That's what happened 4 years ago. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting. And we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. One family and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of North Carolina, we have made America powerful again, our military. We have made America wealthy again, our stock. Your 401ks are booming. We have made America strong again. Again. We have made America safe again. We will make America great again.
So that was President Trump, as you just heard, basically touting his accomplishments. And he has accomplished so much. And I think that Trump deserves another term. And I think that, it is up to the people. It is up to you, frankly, whether you're going to believe the mainstream media lies or if you're going to do your own research and decide that, something the mainstream media isn't telling me the full picture. And let's circle back. I want to circle back, and I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm just trying to kind of give some of my general impressions of things. But I want to circle back to something because I think it was kind of interesting because as we were going in, there was someone else with me, and he just turned around and left when we got to a certain point while we were in line to enter the Trump rally that afternoon, yesterday afternoon. There was a point where we were told we had to wear masks. Now, I put one on. Now, I've been on the record. I have absolutely been 100% on the record. I have condemned mask mandates pretty much. And I do condemn mask mandates. I had to have my temperature taken on my wrist, like so. Someone just had a little thing, and she went like that, and I was good to go. I was handed a stupid little hand sanitizer packet, threw both the mask and the hand sanitizer packet away ultimately. I want to say something on the record about that, because I think this points out, because here in our state, we have Governor Cooper, who's a tyrannical buffoon. And I got through, because at that point, the other guy that was with me, he just left. He didn't stay. We went through, I went through that health checkpoint, and then I kept walking, and by the time I got up to the Secret Service or TSA screening, I had to remove the mask, the stupid mask. And the interesting thing I want to say on record about that is that the security there, and I'm talking about the federal level, like Secret Service or TSA, whatever they were, they said they had no problem with me. They didn't give me any trouble at all for not wearing a mask. So I think what I was seeing there was the final point that the governor or whoever it was that decided to do it, the final point that they were able to actually try to enforce that. By the time I got to the security checkpoint, that was now federal. So that tells me President Trump, if he was part of that, if the federal government was actually enforcing that, they would have not allowed me through the Secret Service or TSA. So that should tell you right there that Trump, you cannot blame Trump legitimately for that, okay? And so that's all I'm going to say on that point. But moving on here, coming to the end of the show here pretty quick, but I want to say something that I think is so important. People say that Trump, they say, why isn't Trump doing anything? You can't expect Trump to do everything on day one, folks. He has to take time to set everything up. You cannot just... I'm going to quote verbatim or quote or paraphrase, I should say, April Lejeune on YouTube. April Lejeune, I heard her say this. I listened to her tonight. She said, you can't go in there and get the queen right away. You have to remove the pawns, like the game chess. You have to remove the people around the queen, leading up to the queen first. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. But Trump, and this is me talking, Trump has had to take this first 4 years to set everything up. You can't just flip the switch on day one and fix everything. It has taken him a long time to set everything up. And it's also taken a long time to awaken the public. And I think that people need to be a little more patient and gracious to Trump because, trust me, Trump didn't have to do this. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous when I hear people talk about that they don't think that, Trump is doing things fast enough. And I get it. I want things to happen fast enough too. But there's a strategy. There's a strategy to this. And Trump has been working this first 4 years. Trump and the Patriots has been working to set everything up. And then in the next 4 years, as soon as this election day is over, Katie, bar the door. Even if Trump loses the election, he's still president until January, 20th or, sometime in January, whatever day it is in January. He'll still be president. So at that point, all bets are off. The deep state, you're in deep trouble. And I do believe Trump is going to win, but let me say something. You cannot sit this election out. You have to get out there and vote. You have to vote. Because this is if you have a grievance against a particular Republican, and by the way, you need to vote all Republican this time. Don't even look at the third party candidates or write-ins, unless if the write-in is a Republican and that's the only Republican running. You need to vote straight Republican, because let me tell you something. If you have an issue with a Republican, you should have dealt with it back over in the primary season. We're not in the primary season. We're now dealing with the general election. We're coming down to the wire here with the general election. So Trump, you need to vote for Trump. If you're in North Carolina, you need to vote for Dan Forest. If you're in my, it's kind of convoluted. It's fixing to become a different congressional district. But if you're in Gastonia, you should vote for Virginia Fox. If you're up north, like say Lincoln County, I believe it's Patrick McHenry, vote for him. But make sure to vote for straight Republican. If you have an issue with these Republicans or rhinos, you need to deal with that in the next primary season. Right now, you need to make sure all these Republicans get elected. Okay? So that's my 2 cents with that. And I just want to say this too before I wrap up, that going back to the Trump rally, it was the most incredible thing. That's a day I will never forget. It was truly a special thing for me, because it was my first Trump rally and the first time that I remember seeing a duly elected, first sitting president, in my lifetime ever. And I think it was truly special. And I think people need to, if you, how do I say this? There are those who don't like to be political. And here's the thing, and I'll say this too. I forgot this, and I'm running out of time here, but I want to say this real quick. I had an absolute privilege, absolute pleasure of talking with these ladies, certain ladies at the after the rally, we were waiting board on buses to go to our satellite parking sites. And I had the distinct pleasure of speaking with these people, certain people, and they were very, very smart. You could tell they're very, very smart people. So let me tell you something. Don't you ever doubt again that other people out there are not awake. They are awake. You just don't see them. You know, that's why you call it the silent majority. But one of the things that I said, we were talking, this one particular lady I was speaking with, and this was when I was on the bus, is that we were fed up with Christians that still somehow vote for people that are for abortion, hence like Biden and the Democrats. And I'm also sick and tired of seeing Christians not wanting to get political. I'm sorry. It says in the Bible, occupy till I come. Occupy till Jesus comes. I don't know how much more clear that can be. Because if we don't occupy, who's going to occupy it? It's not going to be, it's going to be the bad people, the Democrats, right? And I think it is incumbent upon us. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying this pertaining to be a perfect person. I'm just saying there is absolutely no reason why Christians shouldn't be political. Christians should absolutely be political. And I think that as we go forward in time, if you see Christians that are not openly for Trump and they're not willing to pick a side, that tells me it's like, okay, so you don't want to offend people that you don't want to offend the side of abortion, infanticide, murder, and you don't want to be seen as actually endorsing Trump. I don't know what the deal is. People need to quit being on the fence, because this is that's just, you have to pick a side politically. And I don't know why how could anybody ever say that abortion is okay? I'm just saying. So but I want to wrap up real quick by just encouraging you that I do believe that Trump is going to win. But please go vote. Here in North Carolina, early voting has started. I'm planning to vote as, I'm not sure when exactly I'm going to go vote, but certainly in the next few days. I'm going to make sure to go vote, and I encourage you to do it as well. And please, if you can possibly do it, go in person. Do not do absentee balloting unless you absolutely have to. This time especially, because we cannot trust the mail. I have had things I have sent in the mail that either have gone lost or took way longer than it should have to get there to wherever. And not everything, of course, but enough things that makes me think, okay, this is not even political stuff, like Trump stuff. And if this stuff is having issues, what do you think is happening with absentee ballots that you can literally look on its face and see that it's election mail? So, people need to be mindful of that. And if you can go vote in person, please do. So, and by the way, they cannot force you to wear a mask in there. But I will say this, that as much as I condemn mask mandates, if you have to wear a mask to vote, then just wear it that one time. Because let me tell you something, this election is way too important. If we get these tyrants like Governor Cooper back into office, and if we get people like Biden into office, it's going to be big trouble. So, people need to get off the fence and stop, stop thinking that they can just sit this out. It's not that election. You've got to get involved. I'm telling you, you cannot think that you can abstain from the political process. You have to become involved, because let me tell you something. We didn't choose this fight. We didn't have this situation where, it's like, the only thing for evil to prevail is if good men do nothing. And that is exactly how we've gotten here in the first place. Is because enough people refused to vote or just didn't vote, and they weren't holding their politicians to account. So on that note, this is a little different. I know this is not really information intensive kind of podcast, but I thought it was good to come on here and talk about this, because I mean, like I said, wow. I mean, that Trump rally was really, really amazing. And I think we're going to win, and we're going to go on to bigger and better things, because if we can get these people like Governor Cooper out of office, we can, of course, Dan Forest will, of course, lift the mask mandates. And that's why, again, you have to vote. You cannot sit this out. You do not vote third party. You do not vote independent. You have to vote Republican 100%. Look at me. I'm going to look in this camera as I sign off. You have to vote 100% Republican. You cannot sit this election out. You have to vote Republican 100%. Whether you like the people that are Republicans or not, you have to do it. You don't really have a choice. So, on that note, I'm running out of time here. I just want to say God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for watching the Citizen Report. I'm in my studio on this little set again, if you will. This was, of course, this is the same set that I used back in my Christian Nation TV days. And so it's good to be back here doing this. I won't be using this set every time, but I'm certainly going to be incorporating this. I am incorporating this back into, putting this back into use. So I just want to thank you one more time for tuning into the Citizen Report. Go to our website, thecitizenreport.weebly.com. Click on the text alerts so you can be subscribed to receive text alerts, to receive a notification whenever there's a new podcast, or whenever there's a new broadcast, or if we become censored. So God bless each and every one of you, and I'll see you right back here again next time. Have a good day.